Shackling your mind, how to break free from overthinking and anxiety. It usually happens at night, or sometimes right when you wake up. You're lying in bed, the room is quiet, but inside your head, it's absolute chaos. You're replaying a conversation from 3 days ago, worrying about a decision you have to make 3 weeks from now, and creating catastrophic scenarios about things that haven't even happened. Your body is exhausted, but your mind refuses to turn off. You feel tense, restless, drained. And if you're honest with yourself, it can feel like living in a prison where the warden, the guard, and the inmate are all the exact same person. You. Welcome to the first episode of Freedom Always Matters. My name is Philip Leach, and today we're talking about inner freedom, more specifically, how to break free from the mental cage of overthinking and anxiety. Because freedom is not only about where you can go, it's also about whether you can find peace within your own mind. Now, I want to be clear. We are not going to talk about simply relaxing. We are not going to pretend that difficult things don't happen. And we are not going to tell you to just stop worrying. Instead, we're going to understand why your brain gets trapped in overdrive. And then we'll explore 4 practical ground level shifts that can help you quiet the noise, regulate your nervous system, and begin reclaiming your inner peace, because freedom always matters. And sometimes the first place we need to become free is inside our own mind. If you've just listened to part 1, you already know that overthinking can feel like a mental cage, a constant loop of thoughts, worries, and imagined scenarios that leave you feeling exhausted, but somehow no closer to peace. So, in part 2, let's take a step deeper. Why does your mind overthink in the first place? To break free from overthinking, you first have to realize something crucial. Your brain is not broken. It is over-functioning. Your mind was built with an ancient biological mandate: keep you alive at all costs. Thousands of years ago, hypervigilance kept human beings safe from physical threats. The mind learned that predicting danger gave you control. The problem is, your brain can't always tell the difference between a real physical threat, like a predator in the wild, and a psychological threat, like an awkward email, financial uncertainty, or the fear of failure. So when life feels uncertain, your brain turns to thinking as a defense mechanism. It tells itself, if I just analyze this problem from 50 different angles, I can prevent anything bad from happening. And that's where we fall into the trap. Problem solving is constructive. You have a problem, you find a solution, and you take action. But overthinking or rumination is a loop. You analyze without taking action, searching for a guarantee of certainty that life simply cannot give you. Overthinking is the illusion of control. It's your mind burning massive amounts of energy, running on a treadmill, taking you nowhere, while leaving you completely exhausted. And welcome to part 3 of Breaking Free from Overthinking. In part 2, we explored why your mind overthinks, and we learned something important. Your brain is not broken. It is trying to protect you. But when you live in a constant state of mental noise, the cost to your life can be immense. First, it steals your presence. You can be sitting at dinner with people you love, walking through nature, or playing with your kids, but you aren't actually there. Your physical body is present, but your mind is miles away, fighting imaginary battles. Second, it creates chronic physical stress. Anxiety isn't just a mental event, it's a physiological one. Every time you spin a worst-case scenario in your mind, your nervous system responds as though the threat is real. Your body can become flooded with stress signals. You live with a clenched jaw, tight shoulders, and shallow breathing, forcing your body to react to threats that exist only in your thoughts. And worst of all, overthinking can paralyze your action. You become so afraid of making the wrong choice that you make no choice at all. You stay stuck in jobs, relationships, or habits that no longer serve you, simply because the unknown feels too terrifying to navigate. But here's the truth. Real inner freedom isn't the absence of thoughts. It's changing your relationship with them. And now we've reached the final part of today's episode. So far, we've explored what overthinking is, why your mind gets trapped in these cycles, and the hidden cost that constant mental noise can have on your life. But understanding the problem is only the beginning. The real question is, what can you actually do when your mind starts to spiral? So in this final part, I want to give you 4 practical tools you can begin using to create distance from your thoughts, calm your body, and slowly unshackle your mind. Let's begin. Instead of saying, I am anxious, try saying, I am noticing that I am having an anxious thought. Instead of saying, I am terrified, try saying, I am noticing a thought that feels fearful. The difference may seem small, but it creates distance. You are no longer completely identifying with the thought. You are observing it. You are creating space between yourself and the experience happening inside your mind. You are not the storm. You are the sky that holds the storm. The storm may be intense. It may be loud. It may feel overwhelming, but it is still moving. Thoughts are like mental weather. They arrive, they change, and eventually they pass. When your mind is racing, take a piece of paper or open a blank note on your phone and write down everything, every thought, every worry, every fear, every task, every question. Do not organize it. Do not judge it. Do not try to make it sound intelligent. Just get it out. Your brain often continues repeating thoughts because it is afraid you will forget them. Writing them down sends a simple message. This has been recorded. It does not need to stay active in my mind right now. You are taking the thoughts out of your head and placing them somewhere you can return to later. Sometimes the mind becomes quieter, not because the problem has disappeared, but because it no longer has to keep holding the problem in working memory. When anxiety takes over, we often try to think our way out of it, but sometimes more thinking is exactly what keeps the cycle going. So instead, come back to your body. Feel your feet against the floor. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin. Look around and name 5 things you can see. Take a slow breath in, and then make your exhale longer than your inhale. Relax your jaw. Lower your shoulders. Place your hand over your chest. Remind yourself, I am here. This is happening now. In this moment, I am safe. You do not always have to solve your entire life in the middle of an anxious moment. Sometimes, the first step is simply reminding your body that you are here, right now, in this moment. This may sound strange, but sometimes the best way to stop your mind from constantly demanding your attention is to give it a specific time to be heard. Choose 10 minutes each day. For example, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. During that time, you are allowed to write down your worries. Think about them. Review them. Ask yourself what action, if any, you can take. But if a worry appears at 10 o'clock in the morning, you can gently tell yourself, not now. I have time scheduled for this later. This is not ignoring your problems. It is creating a boundary with your mind, and boundaries are important. You do not have to respond to every thought the moment it appears. Not every thought deserves immediate attention. So, let's bring everything together. Overthinking is not a life sentence. It is often an overprotective habit, and like any habit, it can be changed. Gently, patiently, one moment at a time. The next time your mind starts spinning, remember 4 things. First, thoughts are suggestions. They are not always facts. Second, get the thoughts out of your head and onto paper. Third, return to your physical body. Feel your feet. Slow your breathing. Reconnect with the present moment. And fourth, remember that you do not have to solve every problem immediately. You can give your worries a time and a place. Peace does not come from having absolute certainty about the future, because absolute certainty is impossible. Peace comes from learning to trust yourself, trusting that even when life surprises you, even when things go wrong, even when you do not know exactly what happens next, you will face that moment when it arrives. One breath at a time, one decision at a time, one moment at a time. You do not need to figure out your entire future today. You only need to return to this moment, and then the next one. And now, I want to leave you with one question. What is one thought, one fear, or one worry that you need to write down and release today? If you feel comfortable, share it in the comments below. And if this video brought even a little calm to your day, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who may be carrying a heavy mind right now. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving yourself these few minutes. And remember, you are not your thoughts. You are not your fear. You are not the worst thing that could happen. You are the person who can pause, the person who can breathe, the person who can choose what to do next. This is Freedom Always Matters, and freedom begins in the mind. I'll see you in the next episode.